Good stuff. Two polling things if you want to touch on them. Here are all the post-debate national polls. YouGov plus DFP found Harris over Trump on the economy. The YouGov Yahoo poll found Harris beat Trump on every issue except immigration, including the all-important cost of living, 45 to 39. Harris, post-debate polls, happy Saturday. Yeah, all the polls showing +5, +4. That's why I said she's going to see at least a minimum +2 bump, and that the one poll that they showed on CNN was probably too early to tell when we were looking at the Harry Enton coverage on it, because she was like, she definitely is going to get a fucking bump from this debate. I mean, she clobbered Trump. And yeah, so she did. Question is it enough? You know, maybe, probably. This is why I still have not run on the Donald Trump is going to win if she keeps doing this shit attitude overall. I keep telling you, don't worry, liberals. You know, your joyful campaign will probably inevitably yield a Democratic Party victory because of the overarching dissatisfaction that people have with Donald Trump. It just shouldn't be a race to the bottom. It shouldn't be a race, a mirror race of like who can be the worst and still fucking eke out a marginal victory. Why hasn't Walz or Harris publicly denounced the neo-Nazi lies about Haitians? Seems like a no-brainer. Because they are completely locked in on it, okay? They already tied themselves to this issue. They already tied themselves on the right-wing framing. When Joe Biden on October 5, 2 days before October 7, came out and said, we wrote a right-wing border bill and we are going to fucking push it. And we're going to get Donald Trump to fucking, say no to it because he cares about he wants to use this as an issue to make himself, win the election or whatever, like whatever dumb shit that they were doing then. I told you this was the dumbest fucking thing that they could have done, and they did. I'm sure I have coverage over here specifically on this issue. Let's see. I extensively talked about this. Let me see if I can find it. It was before, it was much, much longer than, did Hasan blast off? I did. Most libs I know our age are going from Dem to Green Party or not voting at all. Over 1.2 million Haitian Americans, decades of Haitian migrants coming in, and pet eating and cannibalism has never been a thing. MAGA freaks see one conspiracy and run with it. Yeah. Isn't the UK's economy problems because of right-wing policies, or is it the downfall of public service? Yeah, it is right-wing policies that created the downfall of public services. I want to find an older YouTube video of mine, if we can find it, from like when they first announced this right-wing border bill, or at least a tweet, because I tweeted about it back then. I want to do a I told you so moment here for a second, okay? They should have used Trump's rejection of the right-wing border bill to go, we gave him a chance, now we're moving forward a more empathetic immigration reform. No, they should have never pushed for that to begin with, okay? They should have never pushed for that to begin with. Does anyone have a tweet of me back when like they first announced this? They first announced the proposal. I mean, that's like, oh yeah, here it is. This is like literally the day of. When Biden and the Democratic Party capitulate the right-wing framing on issues, they lend the reactionary propaganda credence. The only issue with immigration is not letting people enter legally and offering them tools to integrate and work. There is no lump sum of labor. Undocumented immigrants are responsible for less crime per capita than U.S. citizens. Their utilization of the welfare state is marginal and they pay taxes. Drugs don't come through the openings in the border on Abuela's lap. They're trafficked through ports inside of American cars. Oh, look at that. Look at that. October 6th. This was one day before October 7th. This is when he launched the fucking border bill. Breaking. President Biden enacts Trump's white nativist immigration policy he ran against only 4 years ago.
On Capitol Hill, Senate leaders from both parties say they're backing a breakthrough plan to control immigration at the southern border. Now, it's part of a broader national security bill that took months to work out, but it's strongly opposed by many House Republicans and even some Democrats. Nicole Killian has more on that deal.
Bro, this is giving like the exact same energy as when the Barack Obama administration tried to capitulate to the Republican Party and do bipartisanship and cut Social Security spending, and then the Freedom Caucus nuked it. It's the exact same situation being played out in front of our eyes, where like the grand bargain, famously, exactly. The Democratic Party, which, by the way, Joe Biden was also leading that charge last time. The Democratic Party keeps conceding and capitulating. Democrats love pushing bad policy and bad politics. All this bill does is normalize the white nativist position that immigration is actually a matter of national security. Republicans are always going to be able to out-racist the Dems. Warning signs from warning signs,
But
alarm
you have a
bells
better
being
chance
rung.
of being struck.
Video from October 8th, 6:21 for the border.
Dramatic reversal in the battle over the southern border. The Biden administration is pushing through a plan to add to a border wall in southern Texas due to a surge in illegal crossings. The White House is waiving more than 24 federal laws to do so.
Well, the White House is pushing back on the idea that this building of 17 miles of border wall in South Texas is being done because of pressure from even Republicans and even members.
Yeah, this will definitely work. I think we should always concede to like insane made up problems that Republicans claim are destroying America. That's the best way to go about it, especially after you campaign on the wall being racist. I think that's the best thing to do. Always make concessions to your enemy who owns a particular talking point, especially when you do that as a Democrat. All you're doing is basically conceding that this is a problem and it's one that only they can solve. So there is no better way to duke it out than to capitulate to your enemy. It's always something that happens in American politics. It's weak, it's shitty, you're basically conceding that there is a major problem when there isn't one. And when you do that, one side is the masters at solving that problem. You yourself are always going to be seen as someone who doesn't really have it in their heart to fix it. One of the greatest examples of this exact story is when the majority of Democrats got together and voted without anyone asking on a messaging bill that said, "Fuck socialism," including Ro Khanna. Why would you do that? Are you that stupid? To the Republican, to the average Republican, they see you voting on that and think, wow, classic how dumb these socialists are that they are voting against socialism. It must be because they're stupid that they voted on socialism bad. Literally called denouncing the horrors of socialism. There's nothing funnier to me than being a Democrat and voting to pass a messaging bill, a resolution denouncing socialism, the horrors of socialism. The resolution overwhelmingly cleared the chamber in a 328-86-14 vote. The majority of Democrats, 109 of them, voted with all the Republicans for the resolution, while 86 voted against it and 14. So here's the thing. This is the difference between me and charlatans who simply change their attitude and their commentary on the whims of the Democratic Party. The reason why they get shit wrong, and their fans will come in and say, "What's up, grifter?" The reason why they consistently find themselves wrong and also on the wrong side of issues, and the reason why I'm always fucking right, is because I made up my mind by looking at the empirical evidence. I made up my mind and have a coherent worldview. I have a moral compass that guides my political framework. Okay? That's it. This person doesn't have anything. He's just a rudderless ship. He just has like, he's jumping, I assume, from one YouTube commentary channel to the next to make up his mind. Please, I will treat you like an adult with a coherent worldview. I believe in you. You can make up your own mind, okay? Stick around. You will be able to, I assume, make up your own mind on this, all right? Instead of just coming in here to repeat whatever talking point that you watched on a YouTube video, make up your own mind about whether or not I truly believe the things that I'm saying or I'm simply grifting, okay? That's it. And also, in the process, you will be served a 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour, unless you subscribe. You have in the past, so, maybe you'll do it again. Because at the top of the hour, there is a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite broadcaster. Hopefully that's me. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Trump might lose because of this immigration panic. He's dumb as fuck. Stick to policies, Trump. No, that is his policy. That's his bread and butter. He's just leaning too much into it because he has no, like, the only tactical thing that's happening from the Democrats also capitulating a right-wing framing is that Donald Trump is getting way, way, way out of control. The problem is they're not actually going, see, that's crazy. He's saying crazy shit. If they were to, at the very least, turn around and be like, look at how crazy this guy is. Look how weird this guy is. He's just like making shit up. Don't you think that's weird? He just wants you to hate your fucking neighbor. Like, he has basically gotten enough rope to hang himself at this point. It's not the story, but the word Hitlerian. That's interesting. Only you have used that. You started a trend. God, my favorite streamer strikes again. Hitlerian Trump vows to deport Haitians legally. I mean, I have been using that quite a bit. It's Hitlerian rhetoric, USA Today columnist Rex Hupka wrote on social media in response to Trump's statement. I mean, I didn't invent it, but I have been using it quite a bit. Look, back in 2021, March 15, 2021, border crisis completely manufactured. There has always been a crisis under every admin, but the media is portraying this from an incredibly reactionary point of view. The crisis, in and of itself, is actually the inhumanity and the mistreatment of people crossing the border. That's the real crisis, okay? It is a humanitarian crisis. It's not a crisis where they are, invading the country. You used the word about this story specifically a lot too. Yes. Trump still wins easily due to your electoral college. Sad for you lot. No. These motherfuckers couldn't find a single Democrat who was busing migrants over the border into liberal cities, so they just started doing it themselves. It's exactly the same meme as Steven Crowder of cross-dressing, pure projection. Like, there were so many opportunities for the Democratic Party to launch a counter initiative against people just, basically fucking human trafficking a shit ton of migrants into other states deliberately to use them as pawns in their fucking political strategy. These are human beings. And they didn't do a single thing about it for years. And I've been calling this out since the first couple of days of the Biden administration, when we saw Biden's border guards whipping Haitian migrants on horseback. Okay? I told you this was going to be a massive problem. Very, very, very frustrating. Yes, I blasted off already. Okay? Anyway, here, let's take a look at the race as it stands now.
And Donald Trump are hitting the campaign trail in critical swing states. The race is still very, very tight. ABC's Mary Alice Parks joins us live now from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Mary Alice, good morning.
Yeah, Gio, good morning. This is a pretty small town, only about 44,000 people. It's a county where former President Trump won twice. But Harris had a rather large, energetic crowd last night with several thousand. She seemed to tailor her pitch. She talked more about being a prosecutor, about specifically going after Mexican cartels, about wanting to create jobs for people that don't have a college degree. All of it seemed to be an attempt to try to chip away at Trump's support here. Good evening, Pennsylvania. Vice President Kamala Harris overnight campaigning in central Pennsylvania in a county former President Trump won twice, hoping to chip away at his support.
We need a president of the United States who works for all the American people. And that just stops with all the trying to divide us. Like, people are exhausted with that stuff.
Anchor Brian Taff from our Philadelphia station, WPVI, sitting down with Harris for her first interview since debating Trump.
I think some people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And, I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work.
Out west, campaigning in Las Vegas, Trump doubling down on immigration, saying he will start mass.
No, she literally straight up was like, "Oh no, you don't understand. I'm different than I'm a new generational Democrat, different than Joe Biden, which is why I'm going to do exactly the same policies as Joe Biden, like some of the good ones as well. All right." And then also I'm going to add my own stupid fucking proposal to it. Like, what, you think fucking Joe Biden doesn't care about small businesses? Like, what is this argument? Like, oh man, I'm going to be so different than Joe Biden. I'm different than Joe Biden, except not at all. It's bullshit. 2019 border talk tweet talking about Biden and the Dems. Wait, Biden is not in favor of decriminalizing border crossings. This entire video is about supporting Biden, lol. Who was I responding to? On HBO, Bill Maher frets, all the Democrats have to do is win is to come off less crazy than Trump. And of course, they're blowing it, coming across as unserious people who are going to take away all your money so migrants from Honduras can go to college for free. Lol, yeah, to beat Trump, we just have to be 30% racist, not 100% shaking my head. Josh Merbitz. I mean, he didn't block me. I think he's just protected. It's a protected account. Anyway, yeah. Vindicated again? Of course, dude. Of course I'm fucking vindicated. It's not even a vindication, though. The problem is, like, I knew this was coming, and I've been screaming about it for months and months and months and months and months. I've been screaming about it for years. On so many instances, I was like, you guys are being fucking stupid for this. Okay? For years. It's not even months. And the worst part about it is, it's not like this was shocking. Like, what, you think the Republicans are not going to pull the fucking immigration lever to try and win the election? Why is there a caravan every fucking 2 years whenever there's a midterm? All of a sudden, there's a caravan of migrants coming in, and it's an invasion. Like, are you stupid? This is what they do. They keep pulling that lever all the time. How the fuck do you not counter? How do you not have decent counter messaging against this dumb shit, dude? I hate this. I hate it. It's bad policy. It's bad politics. It's just so stupid. And this is absolutely creating an environment where these guys can let their freak flags fly once again. And if all you care about is like, oh, well, when they show their freak flags, more people will be scared to vote for the Democratic Party, you're a bloodless, monstrous piece of shit who doesn't care about the inevitable outcome, especially when if the Democrats win and they do push this right-wing border bill, then what's the fucking difference between them and Donald Trump? Then you should have just voted for Donald Trump in 2020 because she's pushing Donald Trump's 2020 border proposal. Why didn't you vote for Donald Trump then? I guess you don't give a fuck about immigrants. I do. I give a fuck about immigration. I do give a fuck about these issues that I talk about. You don't.
Deportations, specifically in Springfield, Ohio, after this week repeating false claims he made at the debate about Haitian immigrants hurting pets in that town.
And I'm angry about illegal Haitian migrants.
What about legal immigrants? You know what's funny about this? The Haitian migrants are legal. The difference between a legal immigrant and an illegal immigrant is just paperwork. Okay? It's simply paperwork. That's it. And the Haitian migrants have paperwork. They have TPS. They're refugees. Okay? And so do the Venezuelans. They have their paperwork. They are literally legally inside of the borders of the United States of America, which is why when they say illegal immigrants, they're actually fucking lying. They want them to be illegal. Like, they want them to be illegalized, okay? That's it. There's also probably a good reason as to why, and I just can't seem to put my finger on it, this kind of sentiment never existed about the 187,000 Ukrainian migrants, Ukrainian refugees that came into this country and are working alongside the rest of the refugees that are now working inside of the U.S. borders. Why is there no argument against them in the similar fashion? Because they're white, okay? And I have no issue with the Ukrainian migrants. Obviously, this community fundraised so that they could come into the United States, okay? Does your monologue from 3 days ago? A lot of people that vote for Republicans don't actually associate the real negative consequences of the legislation that they're signing on for. This is a well-documented phenomena. This is something that plagues American politics, and it's something that plagues politics in general. People genuinely think, oh, I'm voting for this guy because this, right? They don't really consider how those policies are going to end up harming themselves. A great example of this is obviously on the issue of abortion. There are plenty of Republicans that voted for the Republican Party. They didn't really care about abortion rights being restricted. And now they're like, oh my God, this is actually devastating. What the fuck? Because all of a sudden, there's no way you can message out of it. Everybody now knows you are responsible for all of the women in places like Texas, in places like Ohio, that can't get fucking ectopic pregnancies dealt with because Republicans shut that access off. They are responsible for it. They have to fucking live with that reality. Do you understand? Have you reviewed the CNN stuff yet? No, I haven't. It's on here. Speaking of which, it's on the docket somewhere around here. Hasan's a pretty cool dude, even if you don't know. Hasan's a pretty